What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the series. Now, of course, you
are in Barbados.
Hey, no, this is Barbados series. I'm so excited about this place because, you know, I'm an island man. So anything that has to do with the sun, the beach, white sand beach, black sand beach, yes. I'm from St. Vincent, of course, as you guys may know. So which means I'm from the island that has a lot of black sand beach, which a lot of people are very, very fascinated to go. Now, of course, this series, we're talking about the beautiful Barbados. Did you guys know it's the birthplace of rum? Yes. Now, I don't indulge, I don't partake, but it is the birthplace of rum. It dates all the way back to 1503. So the early 1500s was birth of their national rum, which is Mount Gay rum. Now, my island, St. Vincent, we have the strongest rum, I believe, to this date, which is 85% proof. It's called Sunset. It's wild that the name is Sunset. I mean, that's one of the most beautiful and relaxing common things yet. You take a shot at that, man. As I said, I don't partake, but I have tried before. Did you know where the name Barbados came from? It comes from the name Los Barbados, which is the Portuguese word, and the meaning of it is the bearded one. So I believe when they came, they found a lot of fig trees. That's why the name came about. How exactly they put beard with fig, I'm not sure, but that's how the name came about. Now, another interesting fact about Barbados is they became the first nation that really produced or used chattel or chattel homes. I don't know exactly how you say the name, but it's one of those two, meaning homes that could be transported from place to place that would stay intact. Now, safe to say, these guys was on that tiny home movement from time. I'm talking about early back in the day, like 1500s. Home of Rihanna, international superstar, the honorable Riri, Bad Gal Riri. So it's just such a beautiful place and so much to learn. The Caribbean in general is such a magnificent place. I suggest you guys make an effort to go no matter what. I really wish when I was younger, I had the opportunity to travel to all these different islands, because even though we say one Caribbean, and we're so attached, we do so many things that's similar, we still all have our own little piece of like uniqueness. I'm from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We have 32 smaller islands. 10 are uninhabited. We have approximately over 110,000 people, which isn't a whole lot. Depends on where you are. Like for instance, in Canada, about 40 million people almost. I believe it's just around there. Toronto alone probably have about 20. No, really. Like Toronto is just super overcrowded. On the islands, yet even though so small and a little amount of people, it's still spacious. A lot of lush green spots because we're actually underpopulated. Barbados has just over 300,000 residents. Hi. Let's start off with, you're gonna need to have your passport. Of course, can't go anywhere without it. Excuse me. She's making noise in my videos. See why I gotta wait till these guys go to sleep so I can record my videos? Only thing is I fall asleep sometimes. You're gonna have to pack a list of stuff to make sure that your kid has. Now, for us, having a kid with eczema, it's very important that we carry things. Jeez. Back to where did I leave off? See, when you're 30 plus, sometimes you just can't remember what you was doing. Your kid needs to have a passport, of course. Now, passport changes often for your child because, well, their face and their features and everything changes over a short period of time. So be aware, you may need to update your kid's passport a lot sooner than yours. Now, here in Canada, we're accustomed to doing 5 and 10 years. I believe it might be that in other countries as well. I'm not fully sure of the timeline. So be aware of that. If your kid is traveling with one of the parents, it's important that you do have a signed letter from the other parent just for safety measures. They may ask, they may not, but just in case. Because, you know, you might run into a situation where two parents may have a fight or a disagreement or maybe separated or something like that. And one parent decides to take the kid and flee somewhere. So it happens a lot more than you think. So it's important, if you're traveling with one of the parents, you should have one of those just in case. I think this is a ripoff, and I'm sure you will agree with me. As far as flight goes, and it truly is, your kid needs to pay from the full price from the age of 2 years up. Now, I don't know any 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, or even 5-year-old that sits in a seat the entire time. So I think they should definitely fix that. It should be somewhere, either whether it's half price or somewhere around that range, but full price for a 2-year-old and up to probably sit in your lap most of the flight, if not all of the flight. I think that's pretty ridiculous. To 2 years old, you get perks such as front of the line check-in, so that's pretty helpful. You get on, you can comfortably get on, pack your stuff, you don't have to wait on everyone. You also get to take stuff like a car seat, which is also very important, but you don't get charged for that. If I'm not mistaken, I believe you can bring extra luggage for your kid and it doesn't get charged and counted as your bags as well. So there are some perks. Now, we all know when we travel, food can be a bit of an issue. The biggest issue for most people, for some. For me, not so much. As long as I'm on the beach and I got the sun, food is usually third or fourth on my list. But if you're worried about water, don't worry. They have one of the purest water systems because the rock is made of 85% limestone. So giving it one of the purest waters worldwide. Believe me, I know. 1, check before we went. 2, we knew about this from a family, etc. And 3, I would say it's important that you consult with your pediatrician before taking your young one anywhere, just to make sure. Of course, they do have 2-day checkups after birth, 2-month checkup, etc. So make sure you're in your country when those time comes up, because it's important that they do get those checkups on time as well. However, I did ask our pediatrician before we go everything due to the fact that he has eczema for about, well, he still has it. It's cleared up a lot. It's just very little spots that's still left that still bothers him. But we were very concerned about taking him. Like, for instance, he's never went in a pool before because the chlorine and all that stuff. So we kind of kept him out of that. But we know the beach definitely will be fine. Matter of fact, the seawater is probably the best place for him where he should be and get his skin scrubbed and everything. But we did consult with our pediatrician before we left, and he said absolutely no problem. He even told us, hey, he's from the Caribbean as well. He's even said, hey, Barbados is like the Manhattan of the Caribbean, which is true. It's very updated. A lot of stuff you can find there, you can find in the US and Canada. So don't worry about the water. The water is 100% fine, and we drank it. Our son drank it, absolutely no issues. So we all know when we travel, bottled water is usually the best case because different treatments may upset your stomach. So don't worry about that. I made a list because, you know, I'm over 30. My brain isn't what it used to be. talking like I'm this old man or something. It's essential for you to travel when traveling with your young ones. It's important, and it makes things a lot easier to organize because, let's be honest, traveling alone by yourself, it's a lot of work. It's stressful. Traveling with others adds more stress. Traveling with a toddler or a kid, well, that's just a bunch of X's after that. It just keeps continuing getting higher and higher. Try to do it in stages. Don't be one of those people that pack late either. I'm not a pack the night before kind of guy. Me, I'm the guy, my suitcase is packed 2-3 days before. And because I have extra toothpaste, toothbrush, and all that stuff, I have a travel pouch that I just throw in there. So I actually don't even need to wait till the last day to throw those things in. So I'm just a very prepared individual because I don't like to rush. Because I find when you rush, you often forget stuff or you make mistakes or whatever. Like, for instance, we'll tell you about this another time as well. We traveled to Florida, and because we were rushing, didn't have enough time, we forgot and actually put a lot of his lotion inside of a carry-on, which obviously, you know, you can't travel with that, so it got seized at the airport. I'm talking like $80 worth of lotion. It's not even about the money. It's the fact that we got $80 of lotion seized. And when we get there, now we have to go and find somewhere to find stuff that he can use on his skin to keep his skin moisturized. So that was a bit of a problem. So now we know for sure. Try and do that stuff before. That way it makes it a lot easier. So let's see what I came up. Now, you're going on the plane, of course, the air pressure difference really bothers the ears. Now, me as an adult, I've traveled a few times and it still bothers me. So I actually have to use over-the-ear headphones. Earbuds I've tried, didn't work too well. But I also looked up, someone said you can put cotton buds in your ear and chew gum. It did help a little bit. Now, it will bother your kid most likely. So if your kid's still breastfeeding, it's very helpful if you do breastfeed them at that moment. It did help a lot with him, but he also had over-the-air headphones, and just put a bit of cotton bud just right in the top. Don't force it in the air because you don't want it to slip in their ear. Safest bet is to just use the over-the-air headphones. If they're still nursing, let them nurse or use their bottle during ascend and descent. Helps a lot with the pressure, and believe me, he was screaming the first time because it didn't really help him a whole lot. We did manage to eventually calm him down, and it was tough, like really tough. Now, as I mentioned before, car seat does not get counted in your luggage, so strap it up, send it down. Make sure you do get a bag though, because they do sell car seats, bag covers on Amazon that you can buy, so you can put it over fully, tie it up. That way, during transport, it doesn't get dirty or anything like that. Goggles. Obviously, you're going to the beach. I would say get a pair of kid goggles. Now, they're kids. Doesn't matter how much time you tell them don't play in the sand, they're gonna do it. You're gonna want them to do it. Let them explore. That's their time to explore and see and understand things. So the best thing you can do is hopefully they do wear goggles to keep sand from getting in their eyes. The hair, I'm not sure if you can help much with that. You can put a wave cap or a shower bag over, but it may not work out. But just beach shoes for sure, floaties, and kid goggles. Very important. Beach shoes, 100% must. No question about that. Protects their feet from the hot sand. You know, with their soft sole, of course, you're gonna want them to feel grounded and touch the ground and the sand and the grass and everything. But some days when you go to the beach, the sand is very hot. You're gonna want to make sure they have beach shoes on. Now, again, he never went into a pool before or anything, so we were very surprised with the way he first reacted when he went in the water for the first time. So he sat there and was paddling, splashing the water. So he's a kid, so he's from 9 months he was in the water. So I'm guessing, I don't know, muscle memory with him, not sure, but he enjoyed it anyway. We thought he might have been, a little bit afraid of the water. Some kids are afraid of the water. Same with grass. Like they say, you can do a grass test with your kid. And maybe when he was about 2.5, 3 months, when I first took him outside and put him in the grass, and he was actually more curious than anything. He was touching, like the petals on the grass outside, and we had no problems with him with that. One thing I love about him is he adapts just about anywhere he goes, and that's why it's important that you do expose your children to a lot of different environments, people, areas, scenarios, etc. It just makes it a lot easier for them to just adapt and fit it. If you're going to the islands, you're going to need to have sunscreen, both for you and for your kid. Now, this one is by La Roche-Posay. Now, I gotta give a shout out to La Roche-Posay. Hopefully, we do get to work with them someday, because I tell you, I gotta make a separate video on this, because having a kid with eczema is tough. Like, they scream, they scratch, they dig their skin up. There's no comfort in them because their skin is just completely scratching, and they don't know what to do. And you as an adult with all your knowledge and years, no matter how much research you do, there's nothing you can do. Believe me, we've tried changing clothes, style of clothes, type of clothes, material. We've tried different temperatures in the house. We've changed soap liquid, dish liquid, lotion, our lotion, no cologne, no sprays. We use baby products that he uses. To this day, I actually still use like baby lotion and all that stuff, just to make sure there's nothing that can irritate his skin. And it's not, again, that's not a whole lot you can do. You can do a whole lot of tests. There's not much that you can do sometimes. So now the problem is you're unable to do an allergy test until the kid's 2 and over. Now you would think allergy tests, okay, it's not so bad, but with the stats being about 1 in every 3 to 4 kid having an allergy of some sort in North America, the list is extremely long. So even after we booked the appointment, maybe he was about 1.5 years. And I think it was still a couple months after he turned 2, we're able to get that appointment. And then they do that appointment 1 year later. So what they'll do, they'll have a series, maybe about 5 or 6 different items that's common with allergies for children, and they'll like put it on their skin, and you would see the reaction. Now, so for him, he's allergic to both eggs and peanuts, tree nuts, peanut butter. So people are always like, eggs? Yeah, there's actually quite a few people who was allergic to eggs. So sometimes you just never know what people are allergic to. So it's very important that you be careful and ask questions before you eat certain things. Sometimes ask everyone if they're okay or whatever, because people do have a lot of allergies, and sometimes some allergies that you wouldn't even think of. I've never heard of anyone allergic to eggs until my son. Again, growing up in the Caribbean, we don't really know anything about allergies because most people don't have allergies. It's not a common thing for us. We just eat anything and usually we're fine. But contributing factors is, of course, in Canada and America, you're talking about the food, the preservatives, all the additives and all that stuff, the weather. So it's a bit of a challenging thing to, pinpoint exactly what is it. So if we've checked the water, now in the area that we do live, the water is hard, but it wasn't like hard water that would affect his skin. So you gotta think about using distilled water for showering. Think about different soaps, different style of soaps. We probably tried about 4 to 5 different brands to see what changes, and nothing was just working. Back home, we have this thing where we use some tamarind leaves. One of our family brought it up for us. We tried it helped a little bit, but not a whole lot of difference. So over time, it just got a little bit better, but it didn't get better without the help of these two right here. Here is Aqua. So this is Aqua and Lotion by La Roche-Posay. And I tell you, these two did wonders. And of course, as I was saying, the sunscreen by La Roche-Posay. Now, La Roche-Posay is one of the top recommended in Canada, extreme dry skin and eczema. So if y'all are listening out there, anyone on Team La Roche-Posay and Aquaphor, thank you guys, like truly from the bottom of our heart, because for a year and about 8 months, it was difficult. Bedtime, sleep time, especially if you start sweating, if it's hot outside, it was very difficult because the screaming would be agonizing and you feel so helpless as a parent because you can't do anything. You don't know what to do. And nothing you're doing is trying. It just makes you feel so helpless, and almost like a failure, really, if you think about it. Because it's not a whole lot you can do. And to hear your little one just scream, uncomfortable, having trouble sleeping, it was tough. Let's put the mic on the outside, because you guys definitely made a huge difference with our kids' eczema. And we hope one day we can work along with you guys, do a collab of some sort, because we're truly happy that we found these lotions. So you guys should definitely check this out. Consult with your pediatrician and your doctor if you or your kids suffer from eczema. I know La Roche-Posay is one of the ones where it sells out all the time, especially when they do the package. It's about $30, $32, where it has one of these and a sample in the box. So this alone is $30, but sometimes they do a special where it's the box with the sample and this on the inside. So they fly off the shelf like hotcakes. So you're heading to Barbados and you want to know some things you should or shouldn't do. Rule number 1, you cannot wear camouflage in Barbados. To avoid confusion, etc., you just can't wear it. So please don't bring it, don't bother, leave it alone. Don't litter, keep it clean, as you would any and everywhere else that you do go and you travel. And it's relatively clean. And you'll find that with about most islands, if not all of them. We take pride in keeping clean, smelling good, looking good. That's just how we grew up, and it's just a thing. And the older people would say, you can be outside belly rumbling, like ringing, ain't had nothing to eat for the last 2 days, but so clean, smells so fresh, you would never know. And feeling good as well. Of course, we love to party, so there's a lot of spots that you can go to party. Almost every corner there's a shop or a bar that you can find somewhere any day of the week. There's lots of events you can do. Sports, no problem. They're big for water sports, motorsports. You can go swim with horses. You can go see the monkeys in the wild. Some spots, depends on where you are in the country, you may even just see them just randomly, just out doing their thing. You can go to the Island Safari Tour. You can go to Harrison Cave. You can do, which was one of my favorite, which was this tour we actually did for the Barbados Tourism Board, so shout out to them. was the Nicholas St. Abbey tour. So we had the train ride, and then later on after we went and checked out the compound for the house. Now that was a pretty nice history tour. Also, you know, there was like rum tasting as well. Didn't really get into that because I'm not really into that, but it's definitely there and it's cool. They got a really nice, now there's a lot of history there, lots to learn. So I do know when I go back, that's definitely one of the places I want to revisit, because I just love learning, and there's just so much information there that you probably can't take it all in one tour. Now they have a very nice restaurant outside, pretty sweet scenic spot. So make sure y'all check it out if you get hungry when you go there. Now KFC, everyone talks about who has the best KFC in the islands. Now I ain't gonna lie, Vinci KFC is beautiful. I love it. We got about 3 or 4 of them. Now Trinidad KFC, from what I've heard, and I've tried it before, might just be the best in the Caribbean. I know. Jamaicans, y'all think y'all KFC is the best, and it probably is amazing. I've never had it, but from what I've heard from people who travel and went to a lot of different islands, Trinidad and Tobago just might have it. Maybe not by a whole lot, maybe by a little, but they just might have it. So I'm looking forward to trying Trinidad KFC at some point. One of my friends from college, he came here in the summertime, but I didn't really think about telling him to bring me some. So next time, Justin, if you're listening, I'll make sure to remind you, next time you're coming up, bring your boy some, because I gotta try it. Maybe I'll go to Trinidad someday. I'm not really sure, but I definitely need to try the Trinidad KFC. Now KFC in Canada, I'm not sure about America, it is not good. No disrespect, it just ain't doing it. It's just not there. It's not there. The KFC in Canada is just not doing it. Even when they had Too Many Tuesdays, we used to just do it in college just because it's Tuesdays. We do it as a group, maybe 7, 8 of us. We just go get some Too Many Tuesdays. Sometimes we go movies, and then we just go to the club after or whatever. But really and truly, it's just not it. If you're looking for good food, you're talking about a spot that's called MAP. Sells some of the best chicken on the island. I don't know their recipe, where they get these chickens from, but it's just top notch. Definitely one of the spaces you need to visit. And of course, we all know about Oistins. Oistins is the spot where you get some of the nicest fish fry on the island. Strictly very, very busy on Friday nights. That's why they have a lot of entertainment stuff going on. So if you're really into that, Friday nights is the night for you to check out Oistins. For us, we went on a Monday due to the fact, for us, we went on a Sunday or Monday? Monday. Now, for us, we went on a Monday due to the fact that, you know, we're traveling with our family, so we don't really want to mix too much when all the noise and all the crowd is there. So we actually went on a Monday night. So that was pretty cool because at least, you know, we go there, we get to enjoy it. We don't have too much of a wait. It's not too crowded. It's not too busy. But Friday nights is the night to be at Oistins to get the best fish for you. Of course, we tried marlin, the macaroni pie, and of course, you gotta get the fruit juices no matter what. There's places like Cathy's and a whole lot of other shops there. Now, and food is relatively cheap on the island. It actually might make more sense for you to buy food than actually make it. Because of course, you know, on an island, you import just about everything. And trust me, food is expensive. Yes. Now there are 2 sets of grocery stores that you can go to, more of a budget one. And then you have the main one, which is Massey. Now Massey is island-wide. I actually didn't realize how much, I actually didn't even realize how much Massey's are there. Now they're a huge company, amazing company that's in a lot of different sectors, but not just island-wide, but they're also Caribbean-wide as well. Because before I left home in St. Vincent, Massey was one of the top stores. And I believe it is one of the top supermarkets to this day. You can go there, or you can go to, I believe it's Popular discounts, where stuff is a little bit cheaper. It makes a lot more sense if you go there because you find just about the same brands, if not the same thing. Similar products. End of the day, it's how much do you want to spend or the environment that you want to shop in. But really and truly, it's about the same thing. Now, with a wide range of beaches, you almost may never run out of stuff to do. I know. I'll repeat this. You'll hear me repeat this a bunch of times, especially this series. A lot of island people will tell you there's nothing to do. That is not true. It just depends on what you're into. Are you someone who's adventurous? Are you outdoorsy? Do you like to be on the beach? Do you like to go to the beach? Do you like water sports, acrobatics, working out? There's lots to do. You just have to pick what is it that you're into. Now, most people that travel, they go for partying, especially now. I do realize most content creators, when they travel, they almost show the same type of content due to the fact that, well, they go to party, they go to the same tourist spots, etc. Now, for us, being from there, having family from there, visiting there before, etc., or from that type of environment, we're more like locals than anything. So it helps a lot that we know areas where we can go, should go, what time, where to go, certain things to do, and just be able to walk around free, because in general, it's a safe country. I know when I tell people where I'm from sometimes, or they hear about the Caribbean, they ask, well, what about the crime? Well, first of all, there's crime everywhere. Name me one place that doesn't have crime. Maybe the UAE, but that's different. They have certain laws that govern certain things that keeps it that way. But everywhere else, there is crime somewhere. Not that there isn't crime there. It's just not popular. It's just not a thing that's regular. It's just not a thing where people are hurting so bad, or in certain situations where, that kind of gives them an option to do that. Not that it is an option, but for some people it is. Like I always say, crime is proximity based. If you're in a space where certain things are not accessible, given, or you're not allowed to do, it may put you in a position where it seems like that might be your only option, which usually tends to be the case, where some individuals may just go, hey, this is all I've seen, this is all I've known, this is all I can or I should do. Unfortunately, that's just the reality of things. Most people who commit crimes don't want to. A lot of times they're either pushed to, or they just have that environment. They're just a product of their environment. Doesn't make it right, but that's just what it is. Until we change the environment sometimes and opportunities for people, then there will always be this situation. You may say first world country because you have all this fancy stuff, the latest gadgets and tech. But at the end of the day, do you really need it? Probably not. And so does Africa. Africa, talking about Johannesburg, Zanzibar, modern day Ghana, New Nigeria. Like, Zanzibar is one of the most beautiful places on the planet. Now, have you ever really checked out Eritrea? Rwanda is one of the most modern and beautiful spots out. And that's why it's important that you do research and you travel to be able to understand and see certain things, because sometimes the images that you see isn't the full reality. It's a scope. It's just a small scope of what's really going on in a certain place. I mean, we're in North America and we still have places where some people don't have running water. So it's very important that you do see through the lens of content creators and also through travel, where in research that things are a little bit better and not exactly what you may see online. So it's very important. Barbados is one of those places where it's a hub for the Caribbean when traveling. Now, St. Vincent does have an international airport where, but I believe flights only leave one day or one flight during the middle of the week that goes direct to St. Vincent. Otherwise, most people travel to Barbados and then to whatever island that they're going to, whether that would be Jamaica, Trinidad, St. Vincent, St. Kitts, St. Lucia, Montserrat, Haiti, whatever, wherever you're going. Usually Barbados is the route that you travel, which is amazing. It's one of the most busiest airports you will find. But not to worry, there's lots of food, lots of drink options right there, such as Chafet. Everybody know about Chafet. Chafet, gotta get a roti by Chafet, a chicken roti at that. Get the ice cream. Lots of good options when it comes to ice cream, drinks, etc. Got bakeries and everything right there. So make sure when you go, you try a lot of the pastries, try a lot of the food, and a lot of the fish. Make sure you get a lot of beach and a lot of sun in. Of course, when we touch down, one of the first places we do go is the beach. One of the closest beaches to us, Brandon Beach. Brandon Beach is a cool spot. Very spacious, very clean, and it's easy to get to. As I touched on earlier, you have to pay full price for a kid. Now, we traveled before he was 2, so of course it was free. Got the early check-in, got the extra luggage, didn't have to pay for him. But again, After 2 years old, you have to pay full price, which again doesn't make sense because even though he was under 2, he spent maybe about half of the flight going back and forth across the aisle with his grandparents to us. Grandparents to us. Sometimes he would watch a little bit of show. I know. For the parents, again, I'm never the guy to tell you what to do, but for the parents who like to say, don't give your kids a screen or tech, believe me, you might want to do this for an airplane ride. Because he watched some of the shows. Now, flying from Toronto to Barbados, you're looking at a 5-hour flight. He probably watched about an hour, maybe 2 hours worth of TV. In other words, for the next 3 hours, he spent running back and forth from aisle to aisle. Sorry, 2 hours of screen time. 2 hours, and that's not consistent. That is him watching 5-10 minutes, get up, hop over to the next aisle where grandma and grandpa is. Back over to us. Watch a little 10 minute. Now, we spent most of the flight trying to keep him in the seats. Again, hence the reason why I think it's a bit of a rip-off for your kid 2 and up or whatever to start paying a full price for a flight because they'll never really sit in their seat. I mean, they're a kid. How many kids can you really keep still and keep grounded and keep seated in one place? They want to explore. Their mind is going, they have too much energy. Especially for him, he's very active and want to explore. You can't keep him there. Of course, you try to keep him there, he's just going to scream. That's not a whole other problem. But it's worth it. We're not going to complain. We're going to do it because it's important that your kids do get to travel and see and do things, especially from a young age. Expands their mind and their knowledge as well. Now, of course, if you're a content creator or just in general, you want to, be able to capture some beautiful family memories, you're going to want to bring equipment, of course. Cell phones are super and great and they're amazing these days. They take great pictures and beautiful videos, but you may run into the issue where you may take so much photos and videos, you don't have any space on your phone. So that's why it's important that you do get a camera. Even if it's just an action camera, let's be honest, action cameras take some amazing photos. So they take amazing photos and they're really great for videos. The most important thing about them is you can take them anywhere. So of course, I took my GoPro at the time. I had the GoPro Hero 10. Great 5.1K video, up to 120 frames per second. Like just beautiful, clean. I even took some photos with it and it came out amazing. I was able to take it to the beach, no problem. Didn't have any issues with overheating, recording anything under about 30 minutes. When you're about the 40-minute mark, you might be pushing it. So definitely an action camera you definitely need to take. You might want to take a little tripod to take certain spots, certain shots when you go maybe do some of the tourist attractions where you can get some beautiful spots. Now, the next time we do go, I am going to be taking a drone. So look out for some beautiful area shots by us because I already got some stuff planned. So y'all going to want to stick around. Now, I didn't take a drone that time because you had to register it and all that stuff. And I didn't have a drone that I really liked with a great camera and all that. I had to use my phone and connection and all that stuff. So yeah. Now, as far as carriers go, there's Flow and then there's Digicel. Which one is better? I'm not really sure. They kind of both up there, sometimes have similar issues. A lot of people are with Flow, a lot of people with Digicel. But if you want to make a call or just have data on your phone, you can just head to just most shops. You can just top up and add your credit there. So that's another good thing. So make sure if you're traveling, your phone has either dual SIM or you're able to slide a SIM in and be able to use it while you're there, because having data there is very important. Now, there is no Uber, but there is a car share ride company there that you can use in case you need to get around and you don't want to drive. We've never rented a vehicle when we went to the islands before, but the next time we do travel, we 100% will be, because it's much easier to get around rather than relying on family to come and pick you up or whatever. Now, we had a vehicle with the family we stayed with, so we were able to get around, but not as much as we wanted to, because, it's one vehicle, one person here, there. It just makes it a lot easier. So we definitely will be renting a vehicle next time we go, which means, one, make sure you have travel insurance, important no matter what. If you do get sick overseas, at least you're covered, whether it's medication or you need to be flown back, etc. So it's important that you do get something like travel insurance or a credit card, such as Scotiabank has a really good one for traveling. That's definitely helpful when you travel. Travel insurance is covered. So that's great in case, unfortunately, knock on wood, nothing happens. but you want to be able to have some safeguards just in case. You can go into town, no problem, which is why we travel to certain places. Like we went to Cuba, same thing. Went into town, walked around, spoke to people, no issues whatsoever. So again, it's important that you travel, do research, and see through the lens of content creators what's really going on in a lot of countries, not just what you may hear from others or the news. Yes, you may have a bad experience somewhere at some point or sometime, or you may know someone or hear about it, but that just isn't, don't paint everything with a broad brush. It just doesn't make any sense. Now there, they drive on the left-hand side of the road. Now, so of course everything's gonna be opposite because most vehicles are left-hand drive as well. We've never driven in the Caribbean, but I already told Keita the next time we do go, we have to, because we're gonna be back and forth between the islands. We wanna get accustomed to be able to get around and, you know where stuff is, be able to just, okay, this evening we're not doing much, let's just go driving somewhere, or let's just go catch the sunset at this beach, etc. In town, whatever. Want to go in town, do some groceries or whatever, makes it a lot easier. So we will be driving the next time we go. And there's lots of options when it comes to rentals, as far as different sizes and cars, and usually relatively cheap as well. It'll cost you about $50 a day US to rent a vehicle there. And it's talking about a small vehicle, maybe about $30-40. Of course, thank you guys for checking in for the next installment of this series. I don't want to make the video too long, so I decided to break it up because we did spend 2 weeks there. So we did a lot of stuff on different days. Of course, we went at a time where there might have been like a lot of rain, where some days we were just mostly inside just watching TV. Till next time, guys, much love and peace. Family, we're out.